Hi, and welcome to another Average Joe Hockey Report. As suggested by a friend on Facebook, I'm going to pick my sleepers, or at least the teams that I like that aren't favorites, to win their division, for each division. Like what I'm saying is, I don't think this certain team is going to win the division, but there'll be a dark horse and a sleeper and a team not to be counted out. Teams in certain divisions, however, are a toss up as it's hard for me to pick one team over another. So, what we'll do, and when I pick sleepers or whatever, is we'll start in the West Division, then the Central, then the East, then the North Division. In the West Division, it's a toss up between the Arizona Coyotes and the Minnesota Wild. If you compare the two teams, I like the forward depth on Arizona better, although I'm not necessarily a fan of Clayton Keller being on the third line and Drake Kagula, sorry, don't necessarily know his pronouncing, on the second line, according to Daily Faceoff. I do like Barrett Hayton on the top line, however, and I like how he's been given a chance. I'd say I like Arizona's goaltending better too, between Darcy Kemper and Antti Ranta, as compared to Minnesota. Well, Alex Stalock is injured and not haven't necessarily been a fan of Cam Talbot over at least the last couple of seasons or so. Minnesota, however, has better depth on defense, and Kirill Kaprizov, or whatever, Kaprizov. Sorry, I'm starting to sound like Don Cherry a bit. Has been very impressive to start off the season. While I think I like Arizona better in regards to overall depth on forward and goaltending, it's hard to ignore the Wild's blue line and Kaprizov's play. In the Central, I like the Carolina Hurricanes. While the goaltending is a concern, and also losing to the Detroit Red Wings is another concern, I like the top six on forward and the defense. The defense, however, needs to stay consistent because only Jacob Slavin and Ducky Hamilton's jobs are safe. If the four others struggle, it opens the door to 13th overall pick in 2016, Jake Bean, who is a highly touted defenseman and I think sooner or later will crack the lineup. So, other than the goaltending and what I just mentioned, I like Carolina in the Central Divisions for the reasons I just mentioned. In the East, it's another toss up. I've already mentioned the Boston Bruins in my older videos, in one of my older videos, and it is for that reason I am not counting them out. Jack Studnicka should be a player to watch as the team goes forward as well. While he was a healthy scratch in last night's game against the New Jersey Devils, he may drop back into the lineup depending on how severe the injury to Andrei Kosh is. Kosh got injured in yesterday's game against the Devils. Obviously, Bruins fans are paying more attention to David Pasternak's injury and are waiting to see when he can return. The last I heard about Pasternak is that he could practice with the team after the 3-game road trip. When Pasternak returns, that is when the Bruins, as a dark horse, will reach their full potential, in my opinion. However, let's look at the other team that I like in the East. I'd watch out for the New York Rangers. A fairly young team they have, yes. But the top six is promising, and the goaltending I'm a fan of. After all, it was thanks to Igor Shesterkin that the Rangers almost made the playoffs, or were making a playoff push before the COVID outbreak hit. For the Rangers, though, just switch Keandre Miller from third D pairing to second, with Jack Johnson going back down to the third D pairing, because Jack Johnson on the second D pairing makes me cringe just because of how poorly analytically he's been in the past couple of seasons at least. Also, I know Jacob Trouba sort of had a decline last season, but I'm not counting him out either. Maybe not this season, but eventually he'll show why the Rangers acquired him as the talent around him gets better. Once the talent around him gets better, so should he, I feel. And I think he could hit at least 40 or maybe another 50-point season like he did in his last season with the Winnipeg Jets. And last but not least, the North Division. My sleeper for the North Division is obviously Les Canadiens de Montréal, the Montreal Canadiens. While this team isn't with star power on forward or defense, Nick Suzuki is awfully close to being considered a star because there isn't much the kid can't do. I've seen him on the power play. I've seen him kill penalties. I've seen him take pretty important face-offs, although the important face-offs will still be left to Philippe Danault to take. Like the most important ones, that is. And yeah. The team bolsters 3 lines that have potential, and also they have good depth down the middle. The defense isn't necessarily spectacular, but they all respectively do solid jobs. As someone who mostly watches Montreal games, I like how the defensive pairings are. I like Joel Edmondson as Jeff Petry's partner better than Brett Kulak. Edmondson doesn't try to do too much and lets Petry do most of the offense. I also haven't seen Edmondson do a shot attempt for the sake of doing a shot attempt like Kulak has when he was paired with Petry, which for the most part, when Kulak did that, his shot attempt would just get blocked. So with that being said, I've liked the reduced role that Kulak has had, and he's played decent in that reduced role, being paired with Alexander Romanov. Speaking of Romanov, he hasn't looked out of place at all, whether it's in his defensive game, on his second power play unit, or just with the puck in general. Especially when he sprung Thomas Tatar on a breakaway in the season opener. So yeah, I've definitely liked Romanov's play. Also, we've yet to see Jake Allen in goal, but with him and Carey Price as your tandem, you can't go wrong. And also, last but not least, I must say that so far in the first 2 games, I've liked Josh Anderson's play, as he's been consistently driving to the net and getting shot opportunities, and he looks like the Josh Anderson that scored 20 goals for Columbus so far. So yeah. This video is mainly based on opinion, may have errors, and may not be an indicator of the outcome of the season, and etc. Yeah. So if I'm wrong, don't belittle me, educate me. Take care, everyone, and follow my Instagram page, Average Joe Hockey Report, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Marty Tommy.